If your GI has never brought up fertility in your appointments, that silence could cost you more than you know. Hi, I'm Kate, and today we're talking about Crohn's and fertility, specifically the 5 conversations that need to happen before you even start trying, because the gap between I want a baby and I know what I'm walking into is where so many families get blindsided. Now, with my situation, obviously, it was my husband that had Crohn's disease. So for me, I didn't have to worry. I do recall a conversation, though, after his 3rd surgery when we left the hospital. The surgeon or specialist said to us, well, probably you won't be able to have children, which we didn't understand at the time. We were young and silly. So we were like, okay, yeah, sure. But what we didn't understand is what the doctor was actually saying is the situation that you are in with your health was not good, that possibly the chance of you having children, maybe that wasn't the problem. It was just like maybe you shouldn't, because his situation was that serious that, the possibility of a healthy pregnancy may not have been something that was possible for us. Well, because we were silly and young and stupid, we didn't take any notice of that. So luckily, we've been very lucky, we have had 2 sons. And, um, that's probably the biggest blessing, for us in our lives. Now, unfortunately, as you guys know, one of our sons has been unluckily enough to be diagnosed with Crohn's as well. So that's another conversation for another day. So in order to get a clearer picture, I think it's really important to, figure out exactly what the research tells us. People with Crohn's in remission, so remission, have fertility rates comparable to the general population. So that is not a small statement. It's genuinely good news, but disease activity at the time of conception is one of the strongest predictors of pregnancy outcomes, which means timing and preparation are everything. This video is not about scaring you away from having a family. It is about giving you the 5 specific conversations that turn, I hope this works out, into a real informed plan, one your GI team and your body can both work with. So the first thing I would recommend doing is getting a medication safety review. So some biologics and immunomodulators, they sit very differently in the safety categories during pregnancy. And you need to ask your GI, is what I'm on okay if I want to have a baby? Don't wait till you've got a positive test for a medication change if that's required. Get all the facts before you start trying. Disease activity at conception. Now, active inflammation at the time of conception raises the risk of preterm birth, low birth weight, and miscarriage. So being in remission is the single most important lever couples can pull. The we just want to try now conversation in clinic is not ideal. You need to, be made aware that the healthier you can be at the time of conception, you're going to get the best outcome, which if you think about it, pretty much makes sense anyway. Makes sense for all people. Nutritional deficiency check. You need to make sure your iron, B12, and folate deficiencies, which are extremely common in Crohn's, and each one carries specific risks for fetal development, you need to make sure they're okay. Now, just having prenatal vitamins, the normal everyday prenatal vitamins for the average person, is probably not going to be enough. So you need to keep checking your levels, and if they're not sufficient, work with your medical team to make sure that you have that under control. So with also during pregnancy, there's significant risks of flare, both during and after. Pregnancy doesn't reliably suppress Crohn's, and the postpartum windows, well, that carries its own flare risks as well. So you need to keep monitoring your CRP, your calprotectin, symptoms, energy, sleep. Just the normal monitoring that you do. I know it's complicated when you've just had a baby because you're like totally exhausted, but it's important to have that, tool, continue to use it so you can spot something before it develops into a flare. And then building a team that's multidisciplinary. Don't just have your GI over here and your OB over here. You need to have them working together. And also, it's best if you can find an OB that is also experienced in IBD as well. And of course, I would also recommend the naturopathic approach alongside that, not instead of, but alongside of, just to keep up with all the extra things, um, the support that you're going to need. So a GI alone is not enough, but if you can get the right team together, it'll be okay. Now, if this video even gives you one question to bring to your next appointment, I'm happy because I've done my job. Because the realistic picture is Crohn's and a healthy pregnancy can exist together, and I've watched it happen. So what that looks like is preparation and planning, a great team around you, and know what to look for. Track your symptoms and be aware of all the things that you need to be aware of. Now, if this video helped you, please drop comments below, and I like to read all of them. And if you want some more information, also drop me a line. I'll see you in the next video, and have a beautiful day.